Hi grade 7s, welcome back to another one of our video lessons. So today we're going to continue on page 97 and we're going to be multiplying and dividing with decimal fractions. Alright, remember we started with common fractions, which is just a number over another number. Then we started converting to decimal fractions, which is a number system of 10, so tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Then we added and subtracted the decimal numbers. Now we're going to get to multiply and divide them. Okay, so let's look at the examples on page 97. I'll do the first one, 0.45 times 10. Okay, guys, I'm sure you already know this, how we multiply by a number of 10 or divide by a number of 10 or actually by a factor of 10 as well, okay, or multiple of 10. So if we have 0.45 times 10, okay, all we do is we move the comma. If we are multiplying, then we move the comma to the right by the number of zeros that we are multiplying by. So here we're only multiplying by 10, which is 1 0. So the answer would be the comma would move one space to the right, so it would be 4.5. Okay. So remember, when we multiply, move the comma to the right. Okay, let's do another one, 3.7 times 100. Okay, we're multiplying by 100. That's 2 zeros. We're going to move the comma 2 places to the right. So it's going to be 3, 7, another placeholder, which is a 0, comma. So the answer would be 370. Okay. The next one, 2.304 multiplied by 1,000. Okay, the answer would be, we're multiplying by a power of 10, which means that we're moving the comma 3 places to the right. So it would be 1, 2, 3. So the number we would get is 2,304. Okay. All right, guys, so that's pretty straightforward. If we're multiplying by any power of 10, we just move the comma to the right by that many zeros. Okay. Now we're going to go in reverse. We're going to divide by a power of 10. And basically, it's the same thing. It's just that the comma now goes to the left rather than to the right. But the same principle applies. So let's do that. 23.45 divided by 10. 23.45 divided by 10. All right, so that equals 2. We're dividing by a power of 10. How many zeros? 1. We're going to move the comma to the left one place. So it's going to be 2.345. Okay. Next one, 344.23 divided by 100. Okay, equals, well, we're dividing by a power of 10 again. We have 2 zeros. We're going to move the comma to the left 2 places. So it will be 3.4423. Okay, guys, very, very easy. Okay, it's always the same. Division, multiplication by powers of 10. We're just moving the comma back and forth. Let's quickly do the last one. So we have 7.1 divided by 1,000. 7.1 divided by 1,000 equals, okay, so here we're moving the comma 3 places to the left. There's no numbers here, but that doesn't matter. We're going to fill in zeros. So we have 1, 1, 2, 3. The comma goes there. So there's a 0 and a 0 in front. Okay, so it's going to be 0, 007. Okay, and that's our answer. All right. Okay, so that's the first two examples on page 97, which is pretty straightforward. Guys, exercise 7.7, I want you to practice on. It's literally what we've been doing now. The examples, it's just different numbers, multiplication and division. So I want you to do exercise 7.7 for homework. All right, guys, let's go to the next section, which is now multiplying and dividing decimal fractions by whole numbers. Okay, so now we're multiplying, dividing by not powers of 10 because that's easy to deal with. We're multiplying by other numbers, okay? And let's see how we do that. So when multiplying or dividing a decimal fraction by a whole number, the number of digits after the decimal comma in your answer will be the same as the number of digits after the decimal comma in the decimal fraction. You will calculate the answer by removing the decimal comma and replacing it afterwards as shown in the examples below. Okay, so what they're basically telling us is that if we have a number with a decimal comma inside, what we're going to do is we're going to count up how many decimal places we have after the comma. We're going to remove the comma completely, and we're going to take that number, whatever that number is, and we're going to multiply and divide by whatever the other number is. And then once we get the answer, we're going to put back the decimal commas that we removed initially. Okay. All right, so let's do that. I'll show you what I mean. So the example says 1.9821. 1.9821 multiplied by 6. All right, so that's what we need to do. Okay, so what they also talk about in the textbook is estimating your answer first. Okay, so the reason why they want you to estimate is that it's easy to make a mistake with the comma. You can put one too many or one too less, okay? But if we roughly estimate an answer, we have an approximate of what it should be. If we make a mistake with the comma, our answer will be way off compared to the estimate, which means that we can now check, are we on the right track or not? So if I look at this number, 1.98, okay, what is that close to? Well, that's very close to 2. If I round off to one decimal place, I'm going to get 1 point, well, I'm going to get 2 either way, okay? So 2 times 6 is going to give us 12. So we want an answer somewhere around 12. Not 120, not 1.2, okay? All right, so let's do this, all right? How do we multiply this? Well, we use the long way. So we remove the comma. There's 4 decimal places here. So we're going to multiply 19821 by 6. Okay, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 8 is 16. 17. No. 6 times 8 is 48. 49. So that's a 9. This is a 4. 6 times 9 is 54. Plus 4 is 58. Carry the 5. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 5 is 11. Okay, so we have 118,926. Okay, that's way too much. But we know that because remember, how many decimal places did we take away? 4. So that means our answer, we need to put in 4 decimal places. And that would give us 11.89. Is that close to our estimate? Yes, because our estimate was 12. Here we get 11.89. We are perfectly fine with multiplying like this, meaning that we didn't make a mistake. Okay, so the answer here is going to be 11.8926. Do you see what I've done? So in my first line where I say, right, this is the problem, this is the answer, leave this place open and do your working somewhere. Figure out what your answer is. Figure out how many decimal places we are putting. And then imagine that the comma goes there and put the answer where it's supposed to go. Okay, guys, pretty straightforward. So remove the comma, multiply, add the comma, done. All right. Let's look at the next example. So the estimated answer is very close to our answer. This helps us validate our answer. Okay, so that was from the previous example. Example number, it doesn't have a number, on page 99. So it says calculate 3.045 divided by 3. Okay. So we're going to do exactly the same procedure. We're going to take away the comma. We're going to divide the one number by another number, get the answer, and put the comma back here. Okay. In the same way as before, we're going to estimate our answer first. So 3.045 divided by 3 is very close to 1. Okay, it's 1 point something. Okay, but it's not 2 and it's not a half. It's around 1. All right, so let's now long divide. Okay, guys, we've done long division many times before, so you do know how to do this, and I do expect you to do this. All right, so we have 3045. 3045 and we're dividing that by 3. Okay. Right, so let me write the question here. 3.045 divided by 3 equals, and we'll put our answer there, and we'll accompany it with the workings. Okay, so remember, how does long division work? Okay, so 3, how many times does 3 go into 3? Once. 1 times 3 gives me the 3. I subtract, I get a 0 here. I bring down the 0, okay? But I can't do anything with it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 0 there, okay? Now I'm bringing down the 4, okay? How many times does 3 go into 4? Once. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract that out, we get 1. Bring down the 5. How many times does 3 go into 15? 5 times. Subtract 15, we get 0. When we get a 0 at the bottom here and no more digits to bring down, we are done. Okay? So basically what this means is that 3045 divided by 3 gives me 1015. All right, cool. But remember, how many places did we take off before we started dividing? 1, 2, 3 places. Okay? So we have to add 3 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3. The comma goes there. Does our answer make sense? 1.015? Yes, because we estimate it to be around 1, which is fine. So the answer is 1.015. Okay, guys, so that is how we divide by number with a decimal comma or a decimal fraction by a whole number. Okay, right, guys, so what they haven't showed you is that we can also multiply two numbers that are decimal fractions. Okay, so let's do that. Let me show you how we do that. So let's say I have 0.2 multiplied by 0.3. Okay, decimal places. Remember what we did in this example, well, the example before when we multiplied. We took away the decimal commas, we multiplied the numbers, and we added the decimal commas to our answer. Okay, so here we have 1 decimal comma here, or 1 decimal place, and we have 1 decimal place there. So that's 2 decimal places together. Right, so I'm going to take that away. So I take the decimals away, I get 2 and I get 3. We drop the zeros that are to the left. So 2 times 3 equals 6. Okay, there's my 6. But remember, I need to add 2 decimal places to the 6. So usually the comma is here. We need to add 2 decimal places. So that's 1, 2. So the comma goes there. So it's 0, 0.06. Okay, so same thing, multiply the numbers, you get the 6, add 2 decimal places, there they are. So all you do is you move the comma 1, 2 to the left. Okay. Right, so that's just to complete this section because they kind of missed that, but it's not very complicated so that you guys can't do it or you don't know how to do it. Okay. Right, let's look at exercise 7.8. So it says first estimate your answer and then calculate. Remember also to check your answers using your calculator. So here they want you to estimate so you have a rough idea of what you want to get. Then you're going to do the calculations with your workings. You're going to check it against your estimate and see if you're happy or not. And then you're going to confirm it with a calculator. Guys, don't touch the calculator until you've worked through your workings, you have an answer, and you've compared it to your estimate. Okay. Right, so from 1 to 8, that's just multiplication division, guys. I want you to practice on those and do all of them. Number 9, A, the local dairy farmer is selling his milk at 4.56 per liter. How much will 7 liters of milk cost? Okay, so it's just word problems that are talking about the same thing that we've done. Okay, number 10 is the same word problem. Well, not the same, but it's about cows and milk, but with a different question. Okay, cool, guys. We're going to leave it for there for now. So what I want you to do for homework is 7.7 and 7.8. And then hopefully I'll see everyone back on Monday, and we'll continue in the textbook as usual. Okay, guys. I'll see you on Monday, and I hope you have a good weekend. Cheers.